When Tom arrives at Star's school to pick her up for the Red Moon Ball, we see a wall with the sign Creek School near the handicapped parking spot. However, a few scenes later, when Star ushers Tom out of the school, the wall is gone. It's replaced with a yellow sign that says, "Go Opossum." But shortly after, the signs switch back and the wall reappears. During these same scenes, the expression on the octopus embroidered on Star's dress changes. At first, it's clearly happy, but when Tom doesn't let Star leave, it appears confused, and its eyes seem to pierce through your soul. It only smiles again when Marco enters the scene. Then its expression changes to, well, I think terrifying is an appropriate description, and then to that one. At the end of the episode, when Star encases Tom in ice, his nose isn't completely painted, causing his teeth and the inside of his mouth to show through. When at the Chinese restaurant, the waitress brings 4 fortune cookies on a plate, and Star takes 2 of them. In the next shot, there are still 4 cookies on the plate. When Star stops time to help Marco meet Jackie before school, they take advantage of the opportunity to have some time without consequences. When they steal the girl's birthday cake, we see Charlie, an exchange student. In this shot, he has blue eyes, even though they've always been black. A little later, when they set up a rooftop picnic on the highway, Star has a cactus headband in her hair. However, as the camera zooms out, the headband's shape changes to a regular, classic one, although it's still green. When Marco and Star first meet Father Time, in the initial shot, he has 5 toes on his feet, but in the next shot, he has 4. When Marco gets ready to nod Jackie, her blue strand suddenly disappears, just like the chin strap of her helmet. The next error appears right at the beginning of the next episode. When the opening credits are shown, there's a typo in the word written. A few scenes later, when Marco comes out of the water slide and lands in the pool, he briefly has 5 fingers instead of 4. In the next shot, when Marco's dad jumps into the water, he has quite a bit of hair on his back, even though a few episodes earlier in Dia's Family Vacation, he didn't have any. When Star searches for her dad in the middle of the night, she finds him doing this. As she has just been sleeping, she's not wearing her headband, but it appears in one shot only just to disappear in the next one. When Star and Marco go to St. Olga's Reform School for wayward princesses to rescue Ponyhead, and they manage to sneak in, Gemini yells,
"Respect the queue! Respect the queue!"
but his lips don't move.
Respect the queue! Respect the queue!
When they finally find Ponyhead, and Marco tells Star to relax, the color of his face overlaps onto his lips. A moment later, as they sneak out of Ponyhead's room, a part of Marco's left eye ends up above his eyebrow. There's a significant mistake with the singing teacher. Initially, she's shown teaching Princess Smushy to sing, suggesting that she works for St. Olga's. However, a moment later, we see her having tea with the wayward princesses. So, it's unclear whether she's a teacher or just another princess sent to St. Olga's. When Star and Marco free Ponyhead, they use a nearby teapot to fool the St. Olga staff. However, later, when Miss Heinous and her guard peek into Ponyhead's room, the teapot is still where it was before, even though at that point it should be pretending to be Ponyhead. Additionally, throughout the episode, Star's and Marco's eyelashes disappear randomly. When Buff Frog once again fails to take Star's wand and angry Ludo watches the recording of his failure, for a moment, Star's bangs are flipped, even though the direction of her hair is usually consistent regardless of the direction her head is facing. In the same scene, when the Warnicorn attacks and knocks back Buff Frog, originally its teeth are not visible. However, when Ludo replays the scene in slow motion, we can see them. When after another unsuccessful attempt to take the wand, Toffee takes over the castle and throws Ludo out, we see that there are singular doors. However, when Toffee closes the doors in front of Ludo, he uses both hands, as if they were double doors. Towards the end of the first season, when Marco gets abducted by Toffee and his mom learns about it, for 2 frames, her neck has the same color as her shirt. A moment later, Marco's mom is missing her ponytail. And in the next scene, her shirt appears to be significantly shorter than usual. When Star arrives at Ludo's castle to rescue Marco and encounters Buff Frog wearing a tank top, he appears overweight. But when we see him again in his regular clothes, he's not. When Star decides to give her wand to Toffee to save Marco, in one scene, the heart-shaped magical charger is missing from the wand, even though it was there in a scene earlier and a scene later. Near the end of the episode, when Star shows her mom new, cleaved wand, Queen Moon has blue gloves on her hands. However, when she takes the wand from her daughter, the gloves disappear, only to reappear a moment later. The same thing happens when Moon talks to Glossaric. Her glove suddenly disappears, and furthermore, the skirt of her dress briefly changes to a much darker color.